Nogana ndakadzima. They say stressless chimbochila. In the silence ndichidzidza. Verse by verse chichipinda. Ever since Mugabe zvino still zvakaoma. Asi dai Mwari mationa. Mumoyo mangu ndaremerwa. Tell me what to do ndinoyedza. Got this evidence of zvino zvandooma. Hope and revival for my hometown. Hope and revival for my...
Okay, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Welcome if you're joining me. If you are new here, my name is Ruvimbo, and I am the founder of Letters to Africa, which is an organization that is aiming to equip as many Africans as possible with digital skills so that they can, either start their own businesses online, or work remotely, especially if they've already got skills that they have been working in particular industries already, which they can do remotely, because now a lot of organizations are employing people online. So that's the work that I've been doing. Of course, I've got other things that I do. However, you can come over to my channels and find out a bit more about me. So welcome if you're joining me. If you're just coming in, we're going to give it a couple of minutes to let other people come in. And like I said, you are welcome. Do let me know in the comments. Ooh, everything's just popping off. Do let me know in the comments how your new year is going, and also any questions that you have. Let me know where you're joining in from. I'm super excited to be going into this one today because I came across what I think is a gold mine. Okay, I think this is a gold mine, and I'm going to talk about it, and you guys can let me know if you think this is a gold mine also. So I was perusing online in the holidays, and I came across the African Union, and I came across some of the conferences that they have streamed live. Guys, these streams literally have very, very minimum views, but they're the most important. No, I'm not. Someone has just asked, am I Gambakwe's wife? No, I am not Gambakwe's wife. Please. Thank you. No. Thank you. I am very, very single. I am still searching for my husband. Well, I'm not searching for him. He's searching for me. So hopefully he will find me fast. But I digress there for a second. Going back to what I was doing over the holidays, I was, going into this almost like a spiral of having a look at what is going on in the world. Came across this. Very few people have been tuning into this live. So do go on, if you just search African Union on YouTube, do go and have a look at that conference, because it's going to benefit you, especially in this year to come. And they have something that's called Agenda 63. So I don't know if many of you have heard of this. This was my first time coming across it, and I thought it was such a powerful thing. So I want to talk about it today. So Agenda 63 stands as Africa's strategic plan, setting the stage for inclusive and sustainable development with a focus on unity, self-determination, and collective prosperity. So we're going to delve into some of the things that they touch on in this Agenda 63, because this also comes into the African Financial Institute. They are also, I suppose, putting funding towards things. There's also this conversation that they were having around having one Africa, where, for example, you no longer need to have a visa to go to any country in Africa. So any African can travel to and fro and basically not need a visa. So these are conversations that these leaders are having. I'm from Zimbabwe. If you're joining in from another country, you might have a representative from your country who's part of these conversations. There is someone from the Reserve Bank who is also part of these conversations, and it's interesting to see that they are happening. Of course, conversations is one thing, action is another. I also noticed that another part of the conversation that they were having is this climate finance. a lot of countries pledged in COP. I mean, it was somewhat finalized in the previous COP in November, I believe it was in November 2023, COP 28, which happened in Saudi Arabia. No, it didn't. It happened in Dubai. It was in Dubai. So with that COP, it was finalized that, of course, all these pledges that were made, we actually now need to see it, because we have not seen the money coming to these countries. Of course, as a people, we also need to be holding our governments in we accountable for where is the money going. Is it actually benefiting the communities, or is it going somewhere else? Are we going to find it in someone's house one day? I'm just saying. If you know, you know. Anyway, so right, an overview of this Agenda 63 that the plan that they have. So the blueprint is the blueprint for transformation. It's designed to transform Africa into a global powerhouse by the year 63. It talks about inclusive development. So it emphasizes on inclusive social and economic development, which is part of what I was talking about in terms of getting all Africans to commute across Africa and be able to go and work in different countries and so forth, and moving past struggles to prioritize prosperity and unity. There's this real sort of like drive to have one Africa. I think we're starting to see this more and more, where Africans are just saying, well, majority of Africans are saying, look, guys, we need to be united. If we're not united, then what are we actually doing? And I think one of the limitations from us not being united is that we're missing a lot of opportunities to rebuild our nations, to rebuild our communities, to tap into some of these things that some of our leaders are taking part in, because it's not every country or every leader that is actively, participating. So another thing is the origin of this is the realization that Africa needs to refocus its agenda, shifting from struggles against apartheid and political independence to like a vision-centered development and unity. So these are the core things they're focusing on around where this is going. So they've already got projects in place for this, which is really interesting. And if you see me looking up, it's just because I'm looking at my notes. They've already got a lot of things going in place. So they're thinking about integrated high-speed train network. That's something that they're looking to develop. African Continental Free Trade Area. So boosting trade aims to significantly accelerate inter-African trade. So different countries can trade with one another. So you and I can start a business living in Africa, living anywhere in Africa, and that can be exported to Tanzania, for example. I could be living in Kenya and selling in Gambia. This is the future of where Africa is going and what they're trying to get done by 2063. Another thing, again, as I mentioned, African passport and free movement of people. So removing restrictions and promoting unity, silencing the guns by silencing the guns, so ending conflict. Basically, they're trying to end civil conflict. They obviously recognize that people are tired, people are frustrated, and this is leading to violence, it's leading to genocide in some areas. And also monitoring progress. They obviously understand you need to monitor how these things are going to move. So there's other things that they are looking at as well. Please do go have a look. Just type in Agenda 63 and it will come up. It's on the African Union website, and it's very detailed. They have a lot of information there, implementation plan, things like that. And you can also tune into some of the conferences that they've been streaming online, absolutely free. Get this knowledge, because this is where Africa is going. We need, I always say we need to get to a point as Africans to realize just how powerful we are and just how much we have. And I think this brings hope. It brings that kind of encouragement that no, we're moving in the right direction. So I'm just going on to here to tell you a bit more about the African financial institutions. Okay. So in 2009 and 2014, the legal instruments of the establishment of the African Investment Bank and the African Monetary Fund were adopted, respectively. However, none of the financial institutions has reached the requisite number of ratifications to enter into force. So I wanted to just highlight that, because one of the things that they were discussing at this conference is the fact that, we need participation. They are stuck at the moment in signatories. I think countries have to sign in to take part for certain things to move. There's blockages there. And I think because a lot of us citizens don't really know about it, and this is another thing that they highlighted in the conference, that citizens don't know that these things exist. They don't know that this information is available. They don't know that these resources or these plans exist because, one, our medias are not covering it. Two, we're not really having conversations about it in our local communities, again, just because the information is not available for us. So I think, when we're looking at this, it's so important that we share and spread the news and also go and do more research, because it's going to change the way we approach, like, what's the word? I'm looking for a particular word. The way that we approach our leaders, the way that we approach protesting. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. I was like stumbling over my word. Protesting. Gosh, it's been a long day. Protesting, we'll be a bit more strategic around it. If we can say, okay, we want to bring more businesses in our countries, this is the blockage, what's going on, especially if we know some of the representatives in our countries, we can put pressure on them and be asking questions and hold them accountable. I think that's one of the ways that we can start implementing change, understanding what some of the conversations these leaders are having. This was hosted I think it was the climate conversation that was hosted in Kenya. This financial conversation was hosted in Ethiopia. So it was interesting to see, or it was Rwanda. Go and watch it and you can come back and correct me on where it was held. But I feel like it was either Ethiopia or Rwanda. I feel like it was Rwanda. It was definitely Rwanda. Oh, man. Anyway, I blame it on the holidays. Okay, so hopefully this information has been useful for you. Just to kind of summarize in terms of, some of the things that I've covered today. African countries are coming together to talk about the developments in Africa and what we can do as a people to contribute to these things. So number one, we need to ensure that we're studying and having a look at the documents that are available online. Just go on the African Union, search Agenda 63 and have a look at that information. Then if we've got that information, we can then start strategically thinking about how can we put pressure on our government. Someone highlighted that corruption is another barrier. Absolutely agree with you. I think corruption is still a problem. Every country is corrupt. I always say to people, corruption just doesn't exist in Africa. In the US, they're arguing about corruption. In the UK, they're arguing about corruption. So let's not focus on corruption so much. Let's just focus on what is it that we can do in the now, which is this, taking in this information, and then we'll take it one step at a time. They have on here the different programs that they're kind of funding, or I guess they're participating in. They also have a 10-year implementation plan, transformational outcomes, and they're all detailed documents as well. And then also they talk about their aspirations. So do go have a look at that information. I think it would be super useful. I'm excited for the future of Africa. I will be honest, I think it can be quite disheartening when you've got so much corruption, as I said before, or, it seems like any time there is hope, your dreams are shattered again and again and again. But I think with these sort of plans and conversations and seeing that actually things are shifting, that there are people who are doing something, even though it's like a fraction, let's put our support behind those people. Let's educate ourselves, because knowledge is power. So with that, I am going to be over on TikTok discussing, and if you're here on TikTok, just send me a request and we can have a discussion about this a bit more. But if you're joining me on YouTube, Facebook, and we're just on YouTube and Facebook today, please do come over to TikTok. I'm just going to put the information here. It's just Letters to Africa, or @Letters to Africa. And I'm going to be having a discussion on there. I'd love to hear what you think about all this, what you think this means for Africa. Does it bring hope to you? There we are. Does it bring hope to you? Come over and let me know. And again, Happy New Year. Hopefully this year is going to be one where we're going to see change coming finally. I know we say that every year, but we can hope. We can continue hoping. So do join me on TikTok as we continue to have this discussion some more. All right. Speak to you soon.